Have you ever heard the saying, where your attention goes, your energy flows? I'm gonna explain to you the power of attention as it pertains to performance, happiness, and relationships. Now, understanding the power of your attention is critical if you want to really live an extraordinary, awesome fucking life. Because by the way, what else is there to do except live an extraordinary, awesome fucking life? All right, we're in 2025. It's a pretty good time to be alive. Now, I say this to the vast majority. Obviously, there's horrible things on the planet, but come on. Don't you want to live an extraordinary life? Isn't that what you want? My name is Brett Bailey. I'm a men's coach. I help men heal their trauma and, perform at a really high level. Because these are the two things you got to do to really enjoy your life and live that amazing life. If you have a bunch of trauma, you can't really be fully free and be yourself. And if you're not performing at a high level, then you're not going to be maximizing your gifts. You're not going to feel fully alive, fully like you're growing and fully fulfilled, and definitely not creating the kind of money that you want or the freedom that you want. So with the foundation being laid, let me dive into specifically what I mean when I say attention is everything. Why would I say something like that? Why am I taking all this time to prepare an amazing fucking video for you just about attention? Why would I put all this time and energy to understand attention? Why would I do that? It's simply because when I say attention is everything, notice that right now your attention is online. You're focusing on me, or maybe you're focusing on something in your body that you feel, or maybe you're thinking about something that happened yesterday, or maybe you're thinking about something that's gonna happen next after you watch this video. Maybe you're thinking in your head, should I even watch this video? Is this worth my time? Which it definitely fucking is if you want to maximize your life, because to understand attention means to understand every moment you're using your attention. Now, when it comes to performance, there's a specific part of the brain I'm going to get into, the DLPFC. Really fun, exciting name. For those of you that do know neuroscience, this stands for the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. It's a part of your brain that's really the executive function of your brain. It's like the CEO. It's the CEO part of you. Helps you make decisions, helps you know what to focus on, and also is involved with your working memory and your ability to direct your attention, this narrow focus. If you can train this aspect of your brain, you're gonna naturally become more powerful in your life, because the better attention you have, the more you can focus under pressure. Think about it. When you're really engrossed in a project, or you want to perform in front of an audience perhaps, or just perform in your work silently by yourself, to produce, to perform means there's going to be some pressure, because pressure is going to be there consistently throughout our lives to help keep us focused, and it's going to help us demand more of ourselves to show up at a higher and higher level. But if that pressure comes and you break, if that pressure comes and like a house of cards you fold, then you're not going to get the results you want. And so when that pressure comes, you're going to need to have a strong dorsolateral prefrontal cortex to keep you focused. There's going to be emotions trying to pull you away. Dorsolateral prefrontal cortex also helps you regulate your emotions better, helps you stay focused. There's going to be things wanting to pull your attention. There's going to be urges inside of you that you're going to want to trust and follow, right? And by the way, ADHD and ADD, a core quality of this crazy phenomenon that's happening to so many people. And I work with a lot of men, by the way, who, are struggling with addictions, and they have this incredible potential inside. They have business ideas, and many of the guys I work with actually currently run a business, but their attention skills, their emotional regulation skills, they know are not where they need to be, because they keep seeing themselves get distracted or pulled away, and they're not producing at that high level. So I come in and help with that, right? Because emotional regulation is one of the core things that I teach, because it's everything, because it trains your attention. It brings you back to here, to now. What can I do now? How can I focus now? What needs to happen now? And the more you narrow your attention in, the more you can just target and make shit happen. So if you want to make shit happen, you want to train your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And by the way, at the end, I'm going to share with you 3 really, really simple things you can do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, to train your attention. So 3 things I'm going to share with you at the end. They're really practical and really simple, because, I've heard this before. Complexity is the enemy of execution. I love that. Tony Robbins said that. Complexity is the enemy of execution. And I think that there's this urge for me to want to make things more complex, because I, first of all, love complexity when it comes to this. I think anything you love the complexity of it. Like if you love dance, many dancers, they love to just know all the little aspects of dance. For me, understanding trauma, understanding human performance, understanding, men in 2025 and society, these are things I like to go deep on. But I'm trying to make it as simple as I can, because that's what really matters. You don't need to know the complexity. Now, the last thing that the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex helps you with is it helps you with strategic thinking. So if you want to perform at a high level, you gotta be able to strategically think, and oftentimes in the middle of performance when there is pressure. And so as opposed to getting lost in your emotions, you wanna know how to use your breath, how to use your mind, to just bring yourself back to the moment, bring yourself back to the moment. This is kind of like the thing when you're doing a cold plunge, a cold dip, and your mind's just like, fuck this, fuck this. In that moment, can you bring yourself back? Can you bring yourself back? Can you think strategically? So it's a really, really subtle thing that you can begin to practice that will absolutely change the direction and the quality of your life. So think about yourself right now. Again, business guys, or even just a guy that works a 9-to-5 job, there's moments in the day where their attention starts to go. There's moments in the day where they lose that present moment and they start to escape into the future or remember things in the past, and it takes their energy. And it's not about guilt, right? It's not about shaming yourself or guilting yourself. It's just about, I went off, coming back. Because if I really look at my life, the consistency of being able to just get up and work and just get those things done that need to get done, focus on the high leverage, focus on the goal. There's things that pull me away, just stay focused. Things that pull me away, stay focused, stay focused. It's that consistency of just putting those blinders on and just focusing in on what's really most important in your life, in your business. That is what will make geometric change in your life, in your business, in your relationships. And I'm gonna also share how attention affects relationships very, very soon as well, and how it affects happiness. But just starting with performance, because a lot of you guys are here for performance. And now actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna now fill in the 3 things that you can do to really apply this in your life. The 3 things you can do to start to perform at a higher level. Because don't you want to perform at a higher level? Isn't this exciting? Is it just me? Isn't this exciting? Isn't it exciting to be able to focus under pressure? Isn't it exciting to be able to regulate your emotions? Your emotions get crazy and wild, but you just stay centered, that grounded man in his motherfucking frame. Bang! Strategic thinking. Don't you want to be able to strategically think under pressure and have these great, deep, powerful thought loops that lead to an incredible life in business? Don't you want that? Well, it starts with doing some basic training, which I'm going to show you right here, right now. I'm going to fill these in for you. So, number 1 thing you can do on a daily basis is what is called deep work. Deep work. This really is just undistracted work, and all it means very simply is you clear distractions, you pick one outcome, and you set a timer on your phone for a certain length of time that you work. Now for me, my focus is 3 hours of deep work on a regular basis, with little breaks sprinkled in, like I'll walk outside, maybe I'll do some yoga for 5 or 10 minutes, maybe I'll just breathe outside in the sun for 5 or 10 minutes, whatever it might be, but I'm focused on 3 hours of deep work in the morning. Now this is something you want to build up to. You may want to start with just 10 minutes or 25 minutes. Use the Pomodoro method. 25 minutes of focus work, 5 minutes of rest, whatever that is for you. But you want to practice deep work every single day, or at least, 3 to 5 times a week. Schedule that time in, mark that time in. Ideally, you're doing it every day, or like 5 to 6 times a week at least, right? Because deep work, by the way, feels really good. It's not just hard and shitty. It's difficult to get yourself to focus, but after, there's actually a great biochemical reward. You feel a lot better after. It's pretty cool. You kind of earn that dopamine. I've heard that said. You earn that dopamine. The second thing is meditation. Now, meditation is one of the best things you can do for all areas of your life. We're going to go into how meditation helps with your happiness, how training your attention helps with happiness, but learning how to just meditate, learning how to just be still, learning how to calm your mind, learning how to just be present with the moment and your surroundings. It's really, really weird and scary and uncomfortable for many of you at first. And even if you've done it for a little bit, sometimes I just don't want to be present, right? There's just too much discomfort in the moment, or my brain's too scattered right now. I don't want to just be present. Right? There's that urge to just escape the moment. But meditation helps you get into the moment, helps you be here now, helps you be present with every word, present with your body, present with every breath that you take. And when you can learn to do this for 10 to 20 minutes a day, even that small practice starts to pay dividends and starts to train this part of your brain to be able to do all these awesome things. One of the best things that I did in the last 4 or 5 years has been just focusing on my breath, as simple as it sounds. In fact, it might even be the best thing I've done in the last 4 or 5 years. I did my breathwork teacher training in Bali in 2021. Ever since that training, I've been so focused on my breath, and it's helped me so much. It's helped me to regulate my emotions, helped me focus under pressure. Even if I'm approaching an attractive woman or approaching a high-level businessman, and I might get a little nervous or have a little bit of approach anxiety, the breath, bring me back. It's all good. It's not a big deal. They're just a human being. You know, it's all good. Just be with myself now, right? So that is the power of meditation and breath. Okay, so that's the second thing. Now, and you can do these things on a daily basis. Now, the third thing you want to do is you want to make demands of yourself. You want to make demands of yourself. You want to demand from yourself that you push yourself beyond your limits. Now, there's room for rest and recovery, and I'm not on necessarily in the David Goggins camp of like, you know, go insanely hard every day, although it seems to work really great for him. He seems pretty happy, seems to love his life, seems to create great results, certainly performs at a high level and makes money. So it seems to work great for him. But I'm not even at that level. Like, I'm just talking about doing things like a 2-minute cold plunge or a cold shower, making demands of yourself, pushing yourself a little bit. Go for a little longer of a meditation. Push yourself just a little bit in the gym today. Now, these painful emotions you want to avoid through that push, you know, come up, and you get a chance now to practice your top-down attention control. Can you stay in the moment? Can you focus under pressure, right? Can you even strategically think under pressure, which is much harder than just focusing on the moment when you're under all that pressure? Can you still use this executive function of your brain? Can you regulate yourself amidst that, you know, you're sitting in the fire or in the cold plunge, you're sitting in the freezing fire, right? Making demands of yourself. Now, these are things you can do in small ways. I think a good rule of thumb is do one thing per week that's really bold. One thing that makes you feel scared, you know, once per week. You know, go approach some people that might be a bit of an edge for you, or make a post on social media that's a bit of an edge for you. Do something every single week that pushes yourself, right? And today, actually, I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to go and film some street interviews, and I'm doing a lot of filming today, and just something that's makes me a little bit scared, just a little bit nervous. It's always good to be just a little bit on that growth edge. So anyways, there's more to performance than just this. However, this is a lot of what performance is. A lot of performance is really just being focused and staying focused on the outcome. If you watch the Michael Jordan documentary, you listen to athletes, a lot of what they talk about is just staying grounded, staying focused, focusing on what they got to do, playing the right way, just staying focused on the results that they want, letting go of the emotions, not getting too up and down, not getting too rattled, just staying focused. Kobe Bryant talked a lot about just staying focused, being in the moment, not letting his emotions take him away, and he's able to be one of the best performers in the world. So when I say this, it really is extraordinary for the results it can create. So that's performance, and you begin to do this, you begin to do these 3 little things a day, you'll begin to perform at a higher level.